Hey everybody, welcome to a breaking news edition of Off the Top Rope here on the Off the Mic Sports Network. The news has come out that Miro, formerly known as Rusev in WWE, you wouldn't know he was in AEW, but he has requested his release from AEW. He signed in 2020 in September. It was one of really the first truly big, WWE to AEW jumps in the early stages of this company. A lot of people thought Rusev then became known as Miro. A lot of people thought Rusev in WWE was very mistreated. If you guys remember, him going out the door was an angle with Lana, cheating on him with Bobby Lashley. So that was really bad. So Rusev, you didn't think he could go any lower. And this run in AEW had some bright spots. He was the TNT champion as the Redeemer, and it was a great run. Honestly, one of the better TNT championship runs ever. But since that point in 2021 that he lost to Sammy Guevara, I want to read you guys offhand. I'm going to count them on my head. So he loses to Sammy Guevara September 29th, 2021. He then has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 matches on television. After he held the TNT Championship, he had 13 matches. The last match that he participated in was World's End in December of 2023 against Andrade, who was literally leaving. And then no creative for him. It looks like I think he has filed for divorce with Lana, CJ Perry. So that's a part of this. That's also kind of disappointing in the whole nature of this thing. But man, what a botch. What a botch from this company. He had 36 total matches. 36 total matches in 4 years. What a terrible investment. 4 matches in 2022, 7 matches last year, and he has not wrestled at all in 2024. The last match he had was December 30th at World's End in really just a blow-off match with Andrade with a weird angle where CJ Perry just turns on Andrade after she was aligned with him, and then nothing was paid off. They're not together anymore. And early in Miro's career, he was playing video games and being the best man with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford. Like, that was odd. There's a lot of reports that Miro, I'm going to keep calling him Rusev because that's where a lot of the best stuff he did was in WWE, even if you didn't like how it went out. But a lot of the great things that Miro did are just drowned by the fact that he wasn't there. And there's rumors that, he was difficult to work with and difficult to, present creative to, hence why he literally didn't appear from All Out 2022. He was out for almost a calendar year. He teamed with Miro, with Darby and Sting against the House of Black, and then he was off until the debut edition of Collision. And then from then on, he literally had, like I said, 7 matches in 2023. It's just not good enough. And I don't care if it's not good creative. Like, Miro has the right to turn down stuff, and this is part of the give and take thing with giving people these creative influences. Also, can we talk about just the bad creative that AEW's been putting on the screen? Maybe this is on AEW for not giving a talented guy like Miro good stuff to work with, and that's why he wasn't on television. It takes 2 to tango in this. So I'm not absolving AEW from this because they're the ones who signed this guy knowing that he was a talented guy, one of the better big men, one of the more agile big men in the company. They gave him a TNT title reign, and then I told you guys, like 13 matches after he lost the TNT title 3 years ago. The fuck is that? So I'm not surprised by this at all. I really am not surprised by this at all. I hope he finds a better place somewhere. I don't know if it's going to be in wrestling. He's done some stuff in Hollywood. Do I think a second run as Rusev in WWE could be good under Triple H? Yeah. Because Vince McMahon just did not get this guy. He just did not get him. The one thing that he got over, granted, aiding the English, Matt Rainwalt is no longer there. He's obviously not with Lana anymore, so it'd be by himself. But Rusev is the kind of charismatic guy that I think could carry the Rusev Day gimmick back into WWE. Hell, you could take the Redeemer gimmick back to WWE, and I think that would be very popular because they need main event heels. specifically on the SmackDown side. So I'll be honest with you. If WWE wants to reach out to Miro and bring him back as Rusev, or you could bring him back by Miro, because Miro is his real name. Miroslav is his real name. He's from Bulgaria. So if they wanted to bring him back, I would fully endorse and sign off on that, because he's the type of guy that could make really anything work. It just didn't work out in AEW, and it just tells me like a microcosm of exactly what was wrong with this place. For the longest time, they just kept signing main WWE guys, and as Rusev was real, and Miro was really the first guy to come in to AEW out of WWE, really the first big jump during COVID. But then once we get to 2021, everything starts to open up. Tony Khan just started signing every single solitary big-time wrestler. You saw it with Ethan Page. He was brought in at Revolution in 2021, and he fell further down the totem pole because all of these other big names, once you start loading up your roster with all of these high-profile, like these bigger names, I mean, I guess MJF kind of called them WWE rejects or whatever. You've got talented big guys also there, like a Wardlow. He hasn't been used. You've got all of these, like, I mean, everybody talks about mountains of meat there. I mean, where the hell's Powerhouse Hobbs? I know he was hurt, but he hasn't been utilized. It's not just a Miro thing that we need to talk about here. It is a big guy problem that AEW has had. They really just have no concept of how to book big, meaty men slapping meat. And maybe that's just not their thing. But in that case, why the fuck do you bring Rusev Miro into your company if you weren't going to have a direction for him and then expect him like to go along with your creative? He doesn't like it, so of course he's going to stay at home. I'm not absolving Miro from this in the slightest, because in the end he also signed the contract, but in the end the onus is also on the wrestling promotion that brought him in to do stuff. If you're not giving him good creative, what sense is there in him trying to go on screen and embarrass himself? Because he's already went through the ringer. I told you some of the bullshit that WWE put him through. Having his wife, he was in a cuckold angle with Bobby Lashley and Lana. Like, in the last major thing that he did in WWE. It was one of the most watched things in WWE, but it was a really just kind of embarrassing angle for Rusev to be involved in. And he got the creative control or whatever he had in terms of the freedom of going to AEW and doing the stuff that he wanted to do. And this is what you get. A guy who had 36 matches total in 4 years, 4 matches in 2022, 7 in 2023, and none this year. So if I'm Tony Khan, I cut my losses with him. I cut my losses with Ricky Starks. Hell, if Wardlow wanted to come to me and ask me for his release, I would release him too. Because if you don't have a plan for them, there is no sense in keeping them on your roster just to keep them there. It just makes you look petty. It just makes the company look bad. And to be honest with you, this is one of the bigger failures in AEW's history, because Miro could have been so much bigger than what he is. And to only, like I said, I can't get over the fact that he had 36 matches in 4 years. 36 matches. That's 9 matches a year. 9 matches a year. Like, if Roman Reigns, like, you AEW geeks would go crazy with Roman Reigns wrestling 5 in a year. And Roman Reigns is one of the biggest stars in pro wrestling. He is the star of the show. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Miro's only wrestling 9? And some of it is partly Miro's fault because he didn't want to go along with the creative. But give him better creative. He's a talented guy. Do better. So that's my take on this situation. We'll have a lot of other wrestling takes spewed out because there's a lot of big stories brewing across the world of professional wrestling. Obviously, SmackDown, Raw, AEW, we have great reviews on here. Perfect blend of sports and sports entertainment here on the Off the Mic Sports Network. Thanks for watching this short. I will talk to you guys real soon. Bye-bye.